Yeah, so in Helldivers, right now in the story, they're building this space station that's going to be orbiting planets. And once it's completed, whatever planet it's hovering over, you have access to super stratagems.
Oh, that does sound really nice.
Yeah, at least that's what
cool.
I've been told. It's going to be one of those things, too, where you have to defend said planet every now and then if you want to keep using the super stratagems or whatever.
Super stratagems. That's nuts.
Yeah, I have no idea what they could even be because we already got some crazy ones. There's like the napalm one and just all the new stuff since like we last played.
I wonder how they're going to implement all the new stuff coming in with that space station in mind. Because I'm pretty sure they have a roadmap in mind.
Yeah, they got to. I mean, the fact that we still don't even have like a third enemy type yet is pretty crazy. I'm still waiting for like a planet to where we get both bugs and bots at the same time.
Ooh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, like an inner war. That would be something, man.
Yeah, because I don't know if they were glitches or not. If you guys remember, there was people playing on the automaton planets, and then you just see bug carcasses there. It's like, what are those doing here?
Yeah, there's small things here and there. Like, people saw the warships or the gunships before they officially came out. So there's a history of that. People, like, seeing stuff before it's officially out. Like, I heard devs go in certain worlds and they test, like, the new stratagems out. The new warships. I used to follow the Reddit closely. I don't anymore just because I don't play as often anymore, but it was always nice to see like the devs actually listening to everybody, especially after that whole Sony debacle.
Oh yeah, I mean they've always been like pretty close to the community and stuff like that, even with the first game.
The decline of players that they lost, they haven't really been able to get it back, but they're still able to turn the game around at some point.
With the new big update that happened not that long ago to where basically everything's fun again. So people are slowly coming back. Yeah, the whole Sony thing, it's like, okay, people stopped playing. Eventually some people got back on. They released the Fire War Bond and it's like, oh, that's exciting. But then when they released it is when they also nerfed fire damage. So it's just kind of worthless at that point. You know, I mean, at least for me, and I know for Akil too, like this Helldivers 1 was always a game like we'll just go back to every now and then, you know, and still always have fun.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like a stress reliever, but also at the same time like it's fucking stressful. I mean, like when you're out during like the lower difficulties, sure, yeah, and when you're not fighting bots,
sure.
So I don't know about you, but there's something peaceful to me about like just being on your own in a secluded planet.
Yeah, that's always nice. With that feeling, I'm just always like, oh man, I want to get into No Man's Sky at some point.
Oh yeah, now that it's good.
I think in the Fire War Bond, they also included armor that makes you resistant to fire damage, right?
I think so.
I don't know if they had released that as an update in the base.
They weaken fire damage.
True, they weaken fire damage, and I think that was their answer to you not buying the armor that makes you flame resistant, just like how we have the armor that's electric. But what I was going to say, the problem is, like, they've added a way for us to get all of this new stuff, but it's always like, purchasable content. I don't think, or like I could be wrong, but I don't know if they've updated like the main War Bond, like the base game War Bond.
Oh no.
We don't get any new things like that are just like attributed to like updates through the game. We only get things that are attributed through purchasable War Bonds. You know, and that kind of makes things hard for Helldivers because it's like, okay, like again, for example, we're taking, you know, the fire damage into example, like yeah, true, they nerfed it. Right, so if you don't get the flame armor, you're basically like more susceptible to dying, of course. But at the same time, with that flame damage nerf, now you're not going to be fucking dying so often, hopefully. At least when people are just chucking all the new grenades and, you know, and flame weapons at you and stuff like that. I would say it would be hard for this game to kind of go back to building a higher player base like what it did in the beginning, because people will probably aren't really feasible to just come back in and get caught up again by spending... What is it? You and I are behind 2 war bonds, so that would be $20 unless we were just playing the game for long periods of time to get the super credits. But you know, that's like 10 credits a mission. It's not really that much. There's a breaking point.
Well, this is also the kind of game where you don't have to get every single war bond. It's all about like how you want to play.
Yes, I do.
I mean, yes, but also like if you're the kind of player that's going to get every war bond, then you're the player that already has max medals by the time the new one comes out. It's not like you have to use real currency. Like, you can't just buy medals to get the thing. You just have to play. It's like you don't need the flame-resistant armor even before. Like, sure, like, armor, like the fire armor or fire damage sucked. But as long as, like, you can play right and, you know, just dive when you need to, then you're okay.
When does it make a difference though? Like if we play on like the newest difficulty, like 10, right? Like Super Helldive.
Yeah.
Is like, do those kind of things make the difference? You know, having that armor on versus not having that armor on if needed. Like if you happen to be doing a level 10 in a planet with firestorms, how often are you going to be dying or be susceptible to that? How much more damage are you, you know, basically going to be taking? You might die instantly. You know what I mean? You might not have enough lives or whatever the fucking...
About the syringes and reinforcements?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know how when you do the higher levels, they usually have some sort of like negative effects on like your stratagems or something, you know, like some sort of like environmental...
Oh, but that's just sometimes.
For the higher levels, there's probably going to be one. There's always at least one. I don't think that they've ever made it so that the higher levels are easy for you to just like be able to do these things.
I don't know. My coworker, he's already playing on 10 difficulty, and he says like, yeah, I mean it's just like 9. You know, you just have to keep moving, but it's totally doable. Like you're probably not going to get everything, but yeah, you could still complete the missions, evacuate on time, and all that.
Is your friend one of those people who's been playing since like day one, like he hasn't stopped?
Yeah, he's always maxed medals.
Cool. What rank is he?
He always has enough to get the new war bond by the time it comes out. I don't know what his rank is. We haven't played together in a while.
So he's basically what we call a dedicated player.
Yeah, and maybe he's slowed down, as you know, like a lot of people aren't on that often anymore. But
I saw Joker 2 yesterday.
What's the verdict?
Okay, so get ready. As a sequel, that bitch is not the business. All right, but as a standalone Joker movie, I gotta admit it has its touch, dude. I had big noir film vibes from this. I kind of like those movies. Tragic story at the end, dude. It's like I said, if you go in thinking that it's gonna be a Joker movie, then yeah, you're gonna be fucking sorely pissed probably and disappointed that you spend that money. If you're just going in just to, I don't know, just to fucking watch a movie, honestly, not that bad. Just fuck everything you know about the Joker. Even though it says Joker in the title, I know, I get it, but it reminded me of those like old-timey movies, you know, where it's like, yeah, it's a musical. You know those old-timey musicals where it's kind of like, I don't know, usually mostly about love and kind of dramatic and shit.
Yeah.
Where it's like the man and the woman are singing. Big vibes from that. I'm kind of a sucker for those kind of movies too, so I'm like, I liked it for that aspect. But as a fucking Joker movie, and if they're gonna do some more with it, I'm not ready, man. Nobody should be ready for this. This shouldn't happen, is what I'm trying to say.
I see.
So they should stop where they're ahead.
Yeah. They're not ahead, but yeah, they should stop. Especially like at the end, I'm like, all right, because I guess if you try hard enough, it kind of makes sense in the end of the movie, but we took a weird detour to get there. I'm just trying not to spoil it, just in case you guys are going to watch it, but
I have no plans
it's a
to
movie.
see it. I don't know, for me, like, I've been seeing a lot of shit on Twitter and, like, what my friends are saying, like, happens in the movie. It sounds like it's pulling away from what the first one was about, pretty much, with Arthur.
Yeah, definitely.
For the first movie, I thought, yeah, it's good. I liked it. It doesn't need a sequel, really.
Yeah, definitely, like, if you're expecting Joker 2, don't. It's gonna fucking suck ass. I like watching movies by myself. I watched that shit by myself. I had a good time with it. Because I had a beer, I guess. But, you know,
Yeah,
it makes every other movie better. But yeah, it was a time. Definitely not the best movie. I don't understand all the hate that it's getting. Like, it's getting too much, honestly. I think it's just because Lady Gaga's in it, which honestly, she killed whatever role she was doing. I don't know.
You liked her as Harley?
I just like Lady Gaga in general. She's a good singer.
Do you feel like
that she did a good job as a Harley Quinn? Bro, nobody was anybody in that film, honestly. Like, Joker wasn't Joker. Harley wasn't Harley. Harvey Dent was barely had lines in the film. Oscar, I don't know if you're gonna see it, but there's like a little Harvey Dent Two-Face kind of Easter egg bullshit going on near the end of the movie. I don't know if that's world building or if that's just like a nod to like actual Batman shit.
So I heard that Joker does the smile.
What smile?
I heard he gets the scars in this movie.
No.
No. Oh.
No,
okay.
Not him.
Oh, he gives it to somebody? Like he does it?
No. You want me to spoil it?
Yeah, spoilers if you're not gonna watch
Sure. All right.
Joker La Fondue or whatever the...
Joker La Fondue.
Get into it, yeah.
Okay, so he puts on the suit, right, in court, and that turns Harley. Okay, I actually wrote notes for this fucking thing. Give me a second. Let me pull them out. Yeah, so he wears the suit. I'm gonna talk about the smile first. He doesn't get the smile. At the end of the film, he pretty much renounces Joker, but he loves Harley, and Harley loves Joker, and she's like, "You're not Joker anymore." And then she leaves him. He gets fucking depressed, but he doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't go Joker mode, you know. Instead, some other inmate that he's with, because you know how the Joker is. He fucking riles up all the bad guys, become his minions and shit, you know.
Yeah.
So what happens is, like, he renounces the Joker on live television. All the inmates see it, and one inmate, well, I didn't really get it, but from what my sister said, like, everybody in the prison set him up after that. So, like, the guards said he had, like, a visitor, which he didn't. He ended up getting stabbed, like, multiple times by one of the prisoners, who ended up saying the same joke that he told Marty on live television, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Marty was Robert De Niro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The television host. So the guy who stabbed Arthur ended up, like, saying the exact same line he told Marty. Arthur just dies right there. But the guy who stabbed him gives himself the smile.
That's what okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, from what I understand, what people were saying is that's supposed to be Heath Ledger, supposedly.
Yeah. I kind of see it now. Okay.
I don't know how credible that is, but I could believe it. It's, you know, it's like it's just a mess over there.
Like, I'm not shitting on the film. I liked it in a different way. Like, I liked it and I disliked it, you know? It's literally like, you know how the trope now is with all these murder mysteries and serial killer podcasts? How, like, I don't want to, like, what do you call it? I don't want to be sexist, but I heard that, like, it's mostly like the female audience who are into that kind of stuff. Mostly, you know. I'm not saying all, like, some dudes are into it too, but I from what I've been hearing, it's mostly the female audience. This is that trope as a movie. Lady falls in love with serial killer. Honestly, like, from the beginning, like, I was kind of like, all right, so is this actually gonna be a sequel, or is this gonna be, like, its own thing? Like, I was prepared to, like, be disappointed. It was just doing anything, putting characters anywhere they want. Like, with Harley, like, she wasn't the therapist inside Arkham. She was actually a patient inside Arkham who committed herself. So she's also crazy, you know, because she set, like, I think her house on fire, or a schoolhouse. I don't know. She set something on fire, and then she committed herself in that place, and that's where she found Arthur, and she fell in love with him because everybody knows who he was. You know, he did it on live television. And when she said, "I'm pregnant," somebody in the theater just fucking chuckled, and I fucking died.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much most of the notes I wrote. I wrote one here we could probably cut. It says, "Psycho girl falls in love with autistic boy."
Yeah, I think a lot of the hate the movie's getting, I don't think it's from Lady Gaga's, like, being in the movie.
Oh, she did, she did okay. For what, I guess, that he wanted Harley to do, she did pretty cool. Especially, like, there was a point where she burnt, like, pretty much, like, the relaxation time. Like, they were watching a movie and she burnt that mother down. But they didn't escape. She just did it because she wanted to. Because I guess Arthur was too invested with the movie. But, right, like, that part was my favorite part. She did an alright job.
Yeah, I think the hate comes from the fact that Joker says, "Hey, I'm not going to be Joker anymore." You could say if it's true or not, but the joke I heard, or the meme summary I heard about this movie, oh yeah, Joker, like, gets raped and then he doesn't become Joker anymore.
Yeah. No, that pretty much happens, because, like, one scene, it happens fucking blood in, blood out style, and then the next scene he takes off the makeup and he just Arthur Fleck in the courtroom.
Okay,
that's where he's like, "There's no Joker, it was me this whole time." He did it for the nookie.
So does it feel like a character arc coming off of the first movie, or was it just like, yeah, this is number 2?
Yeah, it goes straight away. This is just number 2. There's no you can probably watch it without watching the first one, since you already kind of know the gist of who the Joker is. Yeah, at least that's what I told my sister. She's like, I'm not watching the first one, and I'm like,
that's where you're fucking.
I don't want to say you should probably watch the first one, but you should probably.
That's the only one you should watch.
If you're really interested, yeah, watch it, because that's a different movie on its own too. I guess, like what you would expect a Joker movie to be. Well, I don't know. I guess you do, just because like it's I don't know. It was advertised as like a Joker beginnings.
For me, for the first movie, it was, oh, this is obviously going to be a different take of what we know.
Yeah, no, for sure. The fact that it's not technically Joker 2, but there is like 2 in the name, so you kind of do expect like some kind of sequel aspect to it.
Well, yeah, like you're continuing Arthur's journey. Like, okay, where does he go now?
Yeah.
That like all these scumbags from Gotham are praising him for what he did.
Yeah, he falls in love.
And he falls in love again. Yeah, but
Again.
she's real this time.
The female in the elevator? Or
Yeah,
the lady in the elevator?
Yeah, that lives in the same apartment.
Yeah, she came in. She was in the movie too.
Oh, really?
She was testifying against him, against the murder of that guy, and like those 4 people, 5, including counting his mom.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like there was no buzz for that movie. I saw the trailer. Was like, oh, like, coming out this weekend. I'm like, dude, didn't this movie come out over a month ago?
Yeah.
And I guess it was just like early screening reviews or something that was like going around saying like how bad the movie was. But I was like, oh, well, it happened.
I think it just released. What was it? We released in Europe first, right? And then it released over here. I think it was like that.
It's definitely a Europe movie.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because remember the last time you brought it up, I agreed with you, and I was like, yeah, I remember that. People were already talking about the reviews, and the movie wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, so that happened. Though the weekend box office numbers are in, yes, it is true. It made less than Morbius in the theaters.
Oof, yeah. I did that for you guys. I did that for the show. I spent money on this movie for the show. The person who laughed, bro, there was only like 8 people in the theater, so it was audible.
Was it very musical heavy?
Yeah, a little bit of here and a little bit of there. Yeah, there's definitely singing. In like the weirdest spots too. It's fucking, he does that fucking weird yoga dance stretch thing he does.
Oh yeah, the Sigma dance.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I haven't watched any new movies. I've been playing games though.
Nice. Oh yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I gotta make some space on the PlayStation for Sparking Zero, and I played Trek to Yomi.
Nice.
We got it for Plus a few months ago, or a few months, probably like a year ago or so. And I remember watching the trailer. It's supposed to look like the old school samurai films. And hey, man, that's a good game. That was fun. It can definitely get frustrating at times, especially with that final boss. But it was a good time. It's a 2.5D side scroller. It's one of those games where like, yeah, just a few hits and then you're dead.
Oh, so really like combo-esque. Gotta have your dodge and block checks, whatever.
Your parries and all that.
Yeah, the parries, luckily they're pretty forgiving. As you progress the game, you learn so many new moves. It was crazy. Pretty much after like every medium to big encounter with a bunch of like other bandits and stuff, at the end of the encounter, boom, you learned a new combo. Boom, you learned a new combo. And once you get it going, like the movement, it's pretty fluid. You can get into your stuff pretty nice. There is a stamina bar, so you do have to watch out for that. And God, some of the frustrating parts was just I'm trying to attack the NPCs and they keep backing up as I'm attacking, so I'm losing all my stamina. It's like, come on, guys, just fight me already, please.
Their fucking skill check for you is just backing up.
Because like with some of those encounters, it's like, oh, there's a bunch of enemies at once, and like it can get a little crazy. But luckily, like the way the AI works is they're not all going to attack you at once. Like they kind of rotate. It's sort of like in the samurai films. It's like, well, y'all don't want to attack at the same time because then you guys probably hit each other, kind of thing. The middle towards the end of the game was not expecting the route it took at all. The main character essentially dies, and then you're in the afterlife for a good portion of the game.
When you come back to life, that's crazy.
Yeah, you come back to like basically like you're in limbo. I guess I believe that I'm assuming that's what Yomi is you're just between life and death. And so your soul goes on this journey. And then by the end of it, you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to die or do you want to continue living? And pretty short game. I think I beat it in like 5 hours. You could probably like do it much faster, of course. But yeah, really cool. I might go back one day and get the other endings and then try to get the plat because it doesn't look that hard. But right now I just want to focus on other games.
I've been playing a few games on the PlayStation myself. I've been needing to get off the list. One of the games that came out for free, I think it was last month. It wasn't part of the monthly games, but it was part of the
Games Pass.
Yeah, the Games Pass. Cult of the Lamb.
Oh yeah,
Cult of the Lamb is pretty cool. I've been really getting into it. It's a really like kind of grind heavy type game. I put in probably like I want to say maybe like 10 or so hours into it. The game doesn't seem that long because the progression is kind of it's pretty quick. Like every time you go into the little dungeon, the dungeon is like a roguelike. And then when you're done with the dungeon, you end up going back to like your base, and your base is where you have like I would say it takes more of a like a I don't know what you would technically call that, like what kind of genre that is, but it's like a sim game. You have your followers, you take care of your followers, you can feed them, you can build them shelter, like all this other stuff. So it's like when you're back at base, you're pretty much just setting up your base camp, just kind of fleshing things out so that everything's good. Like kind of like what Clash of Clans is. Almost exactly like what Clash of Clans is, except without you having to get resources for like making enemies instead, because you just find the followers in the dungeon. But overall, it's pretty cool. The story's pretty cool too. One of the best things about that game, they recently made an update to it where it's a couch co-op. So I'm a really big fan of like games bringing back the couch co-op, because we really don't see too much of it these days. I've played it like maybe once or twice with my wife there. It's a pretty good ride. I'm probably going to get back into it a little bit. I stopped because I was trying to do my platinum run for Black Myth Wukong. I know that we talked about that a while back before too, but I would say like post remarks that I would have for Wukong being in New Game Plus is once you beat the game, you kind of have a distinct feeling that the game is short, but in the long run, like when you play the game again, you remember that there's a lot of bullshit that you have to go through. It's fun though. Like I think the game would really kind of pick up once you get towards the middle or ending point of the game. So kind of like where Gerry's at, because I think you're like at chapter. What are you? Chapter 4? Chapter 3?
Chapter 4.
Okay, yeah, you beat Goldbrow, yeah. So now you're in Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is fun. I think Chapter 4 is kind of long. Not as long as 3. 3 is definitely the longest chapter.
It's not fun where I'm at, bro. It's really not fun where I'm at. That shit is a game breaker for me. Low-key, dude. I'm so washed as a Souls player, dude. This shit's actually making me mad. I'm at the Yellow Long, the last of the long quest line. Of course, like the hardest, the fucking of the dragons. He's just made of bullshit. That's all there is to it. And the fact that you said it's like the third hardest boss too, I'm like, all right, bro. I need to finish this boss and just move on with the game, because I just want to beat the game so I can move on and go Tsushima. That's all I wanted to do.
Those are radically different games, I feel like.
I might invest in a Steam Deck just so I don't completely melt my PC on all of this stuff. It was struggling with Black Myth Wukong. Honestly, I think that's why I stopped, because there was a point where during the fight, it just kept stuttering. You do not want that. You do not want stuttering when you need like perfect dodges and fucking frames come into play, man. It gets so annoying.
I want to make the switch eventually, especially with what we saw here with the PS Pro. I feel like there's going to be a point where we're not really going to want to continue down this path. It's not really viable. Like, I'm not really going to be paying an arm or a leg or a down payment that I could put towards a fucking car for a PlayStation console. Because, like, in reality, I love video games, but I really hate to say this because I don't want to be this person, but I want to be a healthy person. When you start the video game, you're at one point in your life. When you end the video game, you're at the same fucking point in your life. Like, nothing has really, like, changed. Buying the fucking console, paying so much for the console, it's good. Like, I understand what I'm doing. I'm paying for a distraction, but I don't want to pay that much. I'd rather just stick with the PC at that point.
Yeah, I just disagree. but that's okay. It'd be cool to have a PC. For me, the only appeal for it is two things: mods and indie games that can't come to console because small indie studios can't afford to submit it to PlayStation and Microsoft. That's kind of pretty much it. You know, I don't have to worry about all the performance issues games have on PC because, again, remember, games are not built for PC. They're built for consoles. And then they have to figure out the port for PC. Yeah, get a PlayStation. Don't have to worry about any bugs or like have to change the settings too often for big AAA games like that. Like with Silent Hill 2 Remake, I've been watching Pat play it. I'm sure it's also a console thing too, but on PC, there's a lot of stuttering.
I'm starting to see the appeal again of consoles. Just because like the games are made for the consoles and not... There's performance and then there's... what's the other one? Performance mode and then what?
Quality. Performance and quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, like do you want it to look nice?
Or do you want it to run nice? Yeah. There's too many settings to try to figure it out. Like unless you have like the highest end PC, then yeah, go balls to the wall. But that just means you're probably going to change your thermal paste like sooner or later, or have to clean it out. I don't know. Like maybe it is time for an upgrade. I just see like the appeal of consoles more just because like all the power is just going to the console and not the PC. Like I feel like with my PC already, it's already taking a lot of power just to use the game capture because it doesn't really like me opening anything else. Otherwise, it crashes.
I think not really to counterpoint what Danny was saying about like having to buy the console and not really worry about things. Like I would say that that's not always the case. There are definitely times where even though we don't expect them to be issues, there are generally going to be issues. And this is usually like at a console launch. Like if we're going to take a past example, it would be like back when the PS3 launched. Do you remember when they had the $600 and $400 editions? The $600 edition was backwards compatible with PS2. And then when you bought it, almost none of the games were backwards compatible. Right? It took like a series of patches and...
Oh, really?
And really like hot fixes. Yeah, it didn't work correctly. When the PS5 Mini came out, I think it was for Elden Ring or a specific game, but they were saying that when you loaded the game, like it just would not work correctly on the PS5 Mini.
The Slim, sorry.
I think there are overall issues that are just, you know, we're going to have to watch out for. You're just going to have to wait until they just cover the bases when they launch, at least when a console launches. And they'll just kind of find things as they go. And it's kind of funny how quality assurance goes when it comes to testing these kind of things. Because it's like I wouldn't really say that they're bottom of the rung because it's been mentioned before.
Yeah, I mean, most of that, it's like, it's a software issue, not a hardware issue. You know, I mean, yeah, there was cases where like, yeah, early, like at launch consoles just always break or whatever. And then there are games that come out like Anthem that would literally destroy your console if you played it, as well as your PC. But at least with your PC, you can just swap the part, and with the console, yeah, you have to get a new one. Like my PS4, I only had one the entire time. It still works.
I don't know. The last thing I would say about having a console over a PC, because obviously I'm of this side of the room. I don't have a PC myself, not because I didn't want to save up to get the PC instead, but mostly in part to what you were saying. I have a familiarity with the console. I know that the console would work, and in the off chance that it doesn't, you know, hopefully like I can put faith into the company to do good by that. You know, back when Xbox 360s were getting red rings, you know, there was this, I believe this kind of started the precedent for like the company taking care of you, right? You can send your Xbox in, they'll work on it and bring it back to you basically refurbished. So they'll do extra and even clean it out just to make sure that it works. I want to say PlayStation does this too.
So it did come out a while ago. We didn't talk about it yet. But did you guys watch the Yakuza trailer for the show?
No, I did not.
Did it come out already?
It's dropping on the 25th. Or, well, it premieres on the 25th, and then it's going to have the weekly schedule.
So what did you think?
So I took a peep at it earlier. Yeah, it's not what I was expecting at all. Loosely based around the first game, where, you know, Kiryu's in jail for 10 years, he gets out. But then watching this trailer that came out, this is probably why they told him, hey, don't play the game, because we're doing our own thing. And they're definitely doing their own thing. Now, you know, it is hard to tell, like who's who, right? Because these are the actors and not the in-game models. Looking at some of the characters in the trailer, I'm thinking, I have no idea who this old man is. I don't know who that is.
Right.
They introduced like a quote-unquote a boss to fight at some point. unless I skipped like a side story in the first game, I have no idea. Like, there's a masked character that I'm assuming Kiryu has to fight. Yeah, very, very interesting.
So I know that we're not really following the main story here, but my understanding is we have what is, again, following the plot. We have like the Yakuza, which is the Japanese mafia syndicate, and then we have the Chinese syndicate, and then there's the Korean syndicate, but those aren't really going to be discussed. What I think I'm seeing here in the trailer is just probably a third syndicate that they're introducing just for the show. Some, I don't know, Oni syndicate, some demon syndicate, from what I can tell.
Yeah, it's probably just like a gang that's nearby.
I really hope that even if they're not taking anything from like the games, the plot twists are immaculate. I hope to God that they can at least do something like that. Those would be great.
I hope so too. Also, my worry is in this trailer, like, don't even see Nishiki at all. Like, maybe in like a couple spots, but
here and there.
Watching the trailer, I think like, oh, they just wanted to do like a Yakuza show. But it's like, oh, but there's a series called Yakuza that we could like just use. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of interested. Apparently, Nagoshi and another producer is helping with the show, so that gives it hope for me, anyways.
Yeah, I'll definitely
check it out too.
Episode. I did check out the first episode of Uzumaki. It was a really good episode. Like, there's a good introduction to the series. The art style is set up in a way that it looks like panel for panel, like you're reading it from the manga. Reading a little bit into that, they didn't want to do that at first. Like, the studio didn't want to do that. Junji Ito had to like really fight for them to keep it that way, because he said he wanted it to really emphasize, like, I think he said it was like the horror of like how you read it in the manga. Like, he wanted you to capture that same feeling, so that when you read it, it's like you're, like it's, again, like a 1-for-1 type thing. I did not watch the second episode, but I only hear negative reviews. Like, I haven't heard anyone tell me it was at least okay or anything like that. So I think before I watch it, I'm going to wait till episode 3 comes out just to see if I don't like it, I'll at least have something to wash the taste out of my mouth.
So from what I understand, I don't know if it got confirmed or whatever. I just passed by it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Episode 2 was done by a different studio. You mentioned that he's like, oh, I want to keep it like fairly 1-to-1 with the art style of the manga, right? To keep you like in like immersed or whatever, right? With the horror. And that's great. Everybody wants that. That is what's probably going to kill this anime, because yeah, immaculate first episode, but goddamn, dude, the clips I saw for episode 2, it's as bad, if not worse, as 2016 Berserk.
Oh no.
Oof, man, when they cut corners, dude, they tore a page.
Oh no.
It looked pretty bad.
Poetic.
And that really sucks, Wooly and Eyepatch Wolf have their own podcast, and they were talking about Berserk on it, and it's like, yeah, they're just, like, the art style is just so amazing, it's just gonna be very hard to try to animate that and do it 100% justice. And I feel like that would be the same with Junji Ito's work, unless you're going with like a specific director's art style for the anime. Yeah, you probably just shouldn't animate it. I don't know.
They're always inclined to try new mediums and new things, and I think that the immersion was real good from what I saw. I haven't seen any of the clips myself, so if I scale by what you're saying, and I'm expecting like a pretty jank shit like how Berserk was, I won't exactly knock it, as long as I still feel like I can get somewhat of like at least a semblance of like of a feeling that I'd read when I was reading those parts of the manga. Like, I'll still feel like if I can at least understand what feelings he was trying to have me portray, whether it's bad animation or not, I'll still be able to at least say I enjoyed what I can take away from that, which is what he wanted.
And that's fair.
Not everybody's going to do that, so just not really a thing.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe like by episode 3, it'll look a lot better. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not even going to stay awake. But hey, speaking of Berserk, 2 new chapters are finally coming out. We're getting one this month and one in November.
You guys caught up?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm caught up, but I'm at the point now where, do I even want the chapters to come out anymore? I don't know what's the behind the scenes stuff with them trying to make these chapters, but it's like, yeah, 1 chapter a year. And right now it's in like a very slow point. And it's like, yeah, do I just wait till it's eventually over and then get back to it? I don't know.
I think when you say eventually over, I'm like, it's probably going to be indefinitely hiatus. Like, I don't think that there's an over.
No, I think it'll end. Like, I'm sure, like, they mentioned, like, they have the groundwork for the ending. And, like, they're working very hard on trying to make sure it's as close as what Miro wanted with it. Very, very different tangent, but it was very funny when I saw that, was it D. Greyman just finished an arc, and it's getting closer to the finale. And I was like, holy shit, dude, I haven't thought about, like, that ending in years.
I think in that case, the mangaka was sick, right?
They swapped it to 4 chapters a year. When that happened and I caught up, I was like, yeah, I'll just wait till it ends, and then I'll have to reread it, because I don't really remember a lot of D. Greyman. I know it's good. I liked it.
I don't even remember where I stopped at D. Greyman. I think it's just kind of... I think I'm probably a couple chapters behind, if not like... You said the arc just finished?
Well, not just. This was a few months ago.
Oh, then yeah, I'm probably like maybe 5 or 6 chapters behind.
Hey, while we're talking about manga, I decided it's time to get back into reading manga.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
I'm thinking we're back.
Yeah, and I did kind of miss it. I'm going to be doing the manga reviews again on this.
That's right.
It's going to be every other week, though. I'm not trying to... Hey, I like reading manga, but that's a lot. I'm doing a lot of shit. So...
Yeah, you're different now.
Yeah.
You're busy. You're a big boy.
Just starting off with simple stuff. It's going to be out by the time this episode's out. I read this slice of life rom-com. It's called, like, Gerry. I recommend it. It was pretty funny. And, of course, I still will be reading some webtoons. And I'm slowly getting back into Tower. I sort of just finished an arc. And jumping straight back into Tower, I was like, oh, yep, it's the same Tower shit. Just there's so much going on.
Oh, yeah. Characters you don't fucking know or you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the ride. You know, it's just like a lot of chess right now. A lot of political play with all the family leaders and stuff.
Yeah, I gotta hop back onto that. The last place I've stopped at was... I think they just teamed up with Charles Murray or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I still don't know what's happening, but I'm here for the ride. Once I see Bam, I'll be like, oh, hey, it's Bam.
Hey, there's our characters. There they are.
I want Rack to absorb all of the other elements already.
Yeah, Rack is, he's not relevant right now, so he's taking the back seat.
When is he relevant, to be fair? So if he's not in a virtual reality, when is he relevant?
Hey, we got a trailer the other day for the Mario Brothers game.
Ooh, such a good game.
Was it called Mario Luigi like Skinship or something? What do they call it?
Brothership?
Yeah.
Skinship?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I'll tell you something. They do a lot of physical touching. They do a lot of hugs. They do a lot of hand-holding.
A lot of kissing.
I have a feeling that they kind of had to play into that a little bit for like the themes of the game. Yeah, it's a really good time. I was really impressed with the new graphics. I think that the new look that they gave Mario and Luigi, like Gerry, I don't know if you saw this trailer, but it looks amazing. They gave Mario and Luigi like a gradient look to their clothes.
Oh fuck yeah!
So like the top of Mario's cap is red like normal, but the back of his cap is like purple. It's like
yeah. Gameplay looks fun. It's like a side scroller kind of thing. Yeah, you have like the brother moves to like traverse and all that.
The best part for me when it came to the fighting is I like the bros moves, but I was a more bigger fan of like the counters that you can do, because they do like they make it so that in this game when you're fighting you have the ability to defend yourself, so that you can like dodge or counter an enemy when they're attacking you. Some of the ways that they do it, like of course like they punish you obviously when you miss or something like that, but it looks like in this game it might be a little easier. I like the new moves that they came out with that we saw in the trailer. Some of the fights look a little wonky too, so that looks fun. To be honest, I wish the Switch performed a bit better.
Oh yeah,
I think that we're probably going to see a lot of performance issues with a game like this.
No, we're not. The thing with Nintendo is, you know, when they make games for the Switch, they know their limitations. So when you play a Switch-only game from Nintendo, you know it's going to run well. And that company be damned, they know how to make a fun game.
Greed be damned.
What was the last Mario game? The Wonder something?
Mario Wonder? Super Mario Wonder.
Yeah, that game looks pretty fun. But yeah, man, I'd be down to pick up that Mario and Luigi game. There is one more game I'm currently playing. I'm at the final area, so I'm almost done with it. It is called Ashen. It was an indie title I saw on sale one day, and I was like, oh, this looks fun. It's like a bare bones Souls-like. You're mostly doing like side quests with all the NPCs that you gather throughout your progression, and yeah, it's nice. The main thing I was like, oh, this I'll check this out. Is it's technically co-op. People can join you online, and it's for the NPC that joins you when you go out into the world and like explore and all that stuff. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you go through the world, you explore, you do the side quests, you go back to like your base, and it's like you're building a village. And that's the cool aspect. Like after you do like major stuff, you'll see like there's progression made for your village, and that's pretty nice. Right now I'm like, well, this place is kind of cozy. Like, let me go to my room, take a little nap.
Monster Hunter kind of gives me the same vibe, because every now and then you do like quests that are technically the side quests, and then when you come back and the village will change a little bit, or a vendor gets upgraded. Do they have vendors in the village, like upgrades your armor, your weapons, or something?
Yeah, so all the NPCs, they all have a thing that they craft uniquely. So like there's one where it's like you can drink like basically like the physics in Elden Ring, but it's like a buff but debuff kind of trade. And then there's like, okay, this person you can craft spears to throw. This person upgrades your flasks. The main guy you meet, he's the one that upgrades your weapons. You learn a little bit about the world and like what's going on with the characters. But there's some cool stuff. I mean, like there's like some enemies that are like they walk with the shadows, so they can like when you go into some of the dungeons where you need a lantern, they'll suck the light out of your lantern and stuff like that. Like that, like okay, that's pretty cool. There's the main guy on the cover that's like your sidekick. He's got this thing going on with his family, and it's like, oh yeah, it's like a blood curse that's been going on, and then like you meet like the person who tells you what to do, and it's like, oh man, like this person looks crazy too. It's almost like a Baby Souls, like if you want to get started in like that genre of games. There's like a Discord and a Reddit. They're pretty active still. And the most unique thing about the game too is there's no leveling system. Like you don't upgrade stats or anything. You can pick up armor when it drops. But if you want to increase like your health and stamina, you have to do side quests. And that's part of the reward is you get a bunch of the souls, and then you get like plus whatever HP max and plus whatever stamina max.
Were there any like secrets that you feel like you found? Not aside from what we were talking about, like lore wise, but like I guess mechanic wise. Were there any like collectibles or anything like that? Maybe like a cosmetic or like some sort of weapon or something?
No, it's all like pretty like basic stuff. Nothing too far out there like that.
Like I would say like when we think about like some of the puzzles in Elden Ring and stuff like that, it's not like I don't appreciate the hard challenge, but at the same time I'm just like, I just feel like they're really convoluted to the point where I was just like, if it was something that we could do optionally, it shouldn't really be like, I guess like an issue to find or discover. For some people, that's like the charm in it. Mm-hmm. Elden Ring is a pretty big game for you to do that, so I guess it works in that aspect. Yeah, if it was like a smaller game that would do it, kind of like this one, I wouldn't really feel that. But I'm glad that they don't do that, and they just kind of stick to like, hey, it's pretty much like, you want your upgrades, just kind of just talk to these people, do their favors. It's as simple as that. You know, nothing convoluted.
Like there is like technically like some puzzle stuff going on. It's not really worth it, right? Like, you're like, oh, look, there's an item on that cliff. Okay, how am I supposed to get on over there? You'd have to climb this. I got to teleport here and stuff. And the reward is just an upgrade material. All right, guys, we got one of those things you call an electronic mail. You can send us stuff, and we receive it. Isn't that cool?
What? No way.
And if you want to send one of these digital envelopes, it's going to be unversedpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll bring them up like this one, for example, from the boy Mark here. He brings an oldie just to bring it back for some new light. He said, what's a game genre you wish had some quality of life improvements now that we're in 2024? His example is with Metaphor. And after 20 years, they finally learned their mistake, and they fixed the problem where if your main character dies in battle, it's not an instant game over. So that's pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing in like Persona and stuff. That's crazy.
I didn't get that far into the demo to figure that out, but that's pretty cool. That's more of a difficulty thing, I think, but I'll give him that, because yeah, that is a thing in Persona. That also applies in Dragon Quest. You don't get an option to be another party member and bring yourself back to life or something. You have to just make sure you don't die. I don't know. I think my answer would probably be like Musou games. We talked about this slightly last time. Sandbox Musou games like Pirate Warriors, Dynasty Warriors, Gundam Warriors. It's really hard to come up with something new or viable that makes it, I guess, still
like fresh,
popular in a sense. Fresh, yeah, but also I want to say like like, I guess, like, attention grabbing. You only really need to play like a demo or like one battle of a game for you to understand how the rest of the game plays. Like, there's nothing real different from it. I don't know. I think that if they needed to make any changes, like what they're doing for the new Dynasty Warriors game is cool. They're also using this as a way to test things out. Obviously, they're removing a lot of things that the older games did to make up for what the original games didn't have, which was the fact that you were just one person the whole time, like you are going to be for this new one. You know, like, I think you remember for Pirate Warriors, it was like if you were going to do a side quest during the battle, it was like, hey, there's an enemy that showed up at this portion of the map. Make sure that you get to this portion of the map before the enemy gets to your ship, or before the enemy gets back to their base. They could have definitely improved on a lot of these like side missions and stuff like that. Probably make the map a lot more interactable. Because a lot of the environment is just like, it just reminds me of like a garden maze. Like left here. Don't go to a right. You're gonna hit a dead end, and gotta go back the other way because these doors aren't open yet until you beat this boss.
Yeah, the amount of times I would get lost or just running around endlessly in those games. Like, they're fun. I like them, but there have been a couple times where it's like, oh, I failed because I ran out of time. Yeah, I don't know about any genre specifically that I would like to see quality of life. Like, Team Ninja does a great job with that. Even with just base Neo alone, like, by the end of that game's life, there was already so much improvements. Like, it was crazy. And then, they just go another level beyond with Neo 2. So just seeing, like, studios just putting in that kind of effort, really listening to the community and stuff like that's always great. I wouldn't say it's quality of life, but I want every game to have photo mode, please.
That's not too much to ask.
A lot of games aren't built for like adding a camera, like a camera source, I should say.
Yeah, that's fair too. I know you probably couldn't do it in a Souls game just because of how it works, but like with Neo, they had a filter option for picking up dropped items from enemies, and that was freaking awesome because you don't want all this clutter, right, of all these different rarities for weapons, so you could just set it to a specific rarity. I kind of want that with Souls games, to where like I don't want to pick up something that I already own or something, right? Like duplicate trash weapons that I'm not even leveling up. Like, that'd be kind of nice to have.
I don't know, there's little things here and there, honestly. Like for Skyrim, definitely like a UI change would have been fine, but you got mods for that now, so yeah, photo mode, honestly, hands down. Yeah, if your game is like a cinema type game, then yeah, like photo mode is kind of like called for in this time, especially if there's like a lot of downtime where you can just stand around and just look at things. Peak camera control and lighting and all that in the photo mode too. Jedi Fallen Order, the photo mode was pretty good in that game. It was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you had good lighting. Yes. You can make certain colors pop more than the other colors. Like, the filters were crazy. It was pretty cool. I don't know, man. Like, it really depends on the game.
Yeah. I don't think this has to tie necessarily to any genre, but I would love to have, like, in the menu options, a tab that is a log of the interactions with the NPCs.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Like a history, so you can see what you were
dialogue
saying and
history.
Stuff like that.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto has that. That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I forgot what I was playing, but I was talking to an NPC, and then something happened in the game, and then they immediately stopped talking. And I was like, oh. Like, I didn't even do anything. I wanted to hear more of that. And it's like, you just can't go back. I would appreciate that. Especially with games that have like so much dialogue nowadays, where like there's always so much to do in the outside of the main story for a lot of these games. If I miss out on it or I skip it on accident, like, I would just like to hear more, or like be able to just go back and like see like, oh, okay, so that's what I missed. He also asks, what is one or two things that you're surprised about each other that you can't believe is true?
Oh my god, no.
About each other?
Yeah.
This is a personal attack right here. This is not a good question.
His example is people can't believe he doesn't like chocolate and pizza.
You don't like pizza? I understand chocolate, because everybody's a chocolate whore nowadays, but pizza, dude? Come on. I don't know,
about
dude.
Each other? We can't just say it about ourselves.
What would you be surprised about yourself?
I really did not care to watch The Lion King as a kid. I remember, like, a lot of people would always talk about, like, yeah, I remember. I didn't watch The Lion King till I was, like, 21 or something like that. And I just remember so many people like, how are you've never seen The Lion King? Like, what's wrong with you? And at this point, I was just so old. I was just like, what am I going to get out of it? Like, by watching it at this point, I probably wouldn't enjoy it the same way I would have as I was a kid, you know? It was not a big deal to me to watch it, like, every single time it was mentioned, I guess. Like, it was just like, and then by the time I actually did watch it, and by the time I was finished with it, I was like, okay, like, it's just a movie, you know? Yeah, be surprised that I'm not really that in love with The Lion King like everyone else is.
You know what? I got one. I'm surprised the Oscar doesn't have a heart. What the fuck, dude? I don't know. I realized I had chops in Tekken once I picked up the controller again. Once I got Yoshimitsu back, I'm like, something feels different. You go to one tournament, you think you're pretty good. That's how I feel right now.
You know what? I will say this, and I'm not trying to shit on you, but I am surprised that you, Danny, have like this giant list of games. Like, you have this giant fucking collection of like all the shit of all the games. Some of them are good, some of them we've never heard of.
Yeah.
But on more than one handful of occasions, you know, we've given you, I want to say, the opportunity to play good games, and you don't like them. Like, for whatever reason, good games are just not good games to you. Like Fallout and Skyrim. You like Elden Ring, which is good, but like,
it's not that I don't think they're bad or good. It's just not my genre.
Whatever that means.
Make it genre.
It's just not the kind of game, like gameplay and mechanics that I'm a fan of. That's why I don't play those games. So awesome. Thank you for the email, guys. And again, that's unversedpodcast@gmail.com. And do we have a recommendation for you today? Who's it from?
Okay. Doom scrolling. We all do it. You do it, I do it.
Oh, yeah.
My mom does it, I found out the other day. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I find the distraught shit on my algorithm, and that's my fault because I find these pages, and some of them are like, they remind me of fucking 4chan days. There's that side, right? And I'm like, this makes me sad, but it's interesting, but it's sad. Then there's other pages like, get ready for this one, Venus. Yeah, with the E and I replaced with a 3 and 1. This page right here has been one of the reasons I get up in the morning. If there's a new Venus post, you know that shit's gonna be fire. What he does is he makes edits, right? Or whoever it is, they're making edits, right? They grab stills from
just random vines.
Yeah, random ass videos, random ass TikToks. And then he just puts them together, but mixes them fucking well. Like, and if you're watching it silently, we'll put the music on, because with the music, the video mashups with the song that chooses, it's fucking perfect. Like, they put in time and effort into each one of these fucking edits, no matter how short they are. They time them well with the different things going on in the videos. It's great, and it's always, I want to put it at Hopecore, because it's always like an uplifting song, and then there's people saying like, if you don't love me now because I'm broke, you'll never like me when I'm rich, or some shit like that, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Positive
stuff like that. There's a lot of it's like that. It's a big positive affirmation page, impeccable edits.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now where it's the KSI song.
yeah, that's a good one.
Like, this is how KSI felt while singing this. Oh man, that song sucks.
Didn't he make that song for like a kids movie?
No, that's what it sounds like. No, he made that song for himself.
Okay, you'll see a lot of these videos like that. It's great, dude. They time it right. They're meticulous with the timing of certain drops in the songs mixed with whatever's going on in the video. So that I appreciate that like a lot. That's
because that in itself is an artistry.
That's Venus core right there, dude.
As you mentioned this, I looked up this page. The first thing that I see, people that you follow and that follow you back on this page, it shows that you follow, and then immediately the second person is my sister.
That's straight. Your sister's a boss, dude. She knows about Venus.
This is like the end of the summer highlight reel that you made on a CD, and then you put your favorite song in it. That was the vibe for the summer.
Yeah, it's pretty much. These are pretty much mixtapes in video format. Yeah, about the internet. Yeah, nice and smooth. Whenever a new Venus post comes up, I like saying Venus. Whenever a new Venus post comes up by Venus, I'm like, oh shit. And I have to stop everything
Like, these are the kind of videos I would see in the credits of, like, a summer film. You remember they used to do that?
Oh yeah. Oh, like
Like a behind
Jackass
credits.
does it.
Not behind credits, but after credits.
Yeah, I know what we're talking about. It's half as good muted. It's like a much better with the song.
I do like every now and then he will go into, like, After Effects or whatever and, like, splice stuff in.
Make it so smooth, man.
Yeah.
Like a high five becomes an explosion or something. I don't know. The transitions are clean. Some of these transitions are fucking clean.
Right on, man. So we'll have a link in the description for the page if you want to check out what they got going on. Well, with that, guys, we can go ahead and wrap up for today. Thanks for listening, and of course, we'll be back next week. So until then, we'll see ya.